you're used to. Non-apologetic news, telling you the truth. Non-apologetic news, saying what they're scared to. Non-apologetic news, non-apologetic news.
Bablushka.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to a brand new action-packed episode of Non-Apologetic News, the news program where we tell you what's important about what's not actually important in the world today. I am Travisty. Next to me, as always, is Body Bag. We are Non-Apologetic News. So, to start this up, I don't want to so much go into a news story as much of a little bit of recap on what's been going on with me, right? So, I just got back like a week and a half ago from Skankfest. Oh, that's right. Now, for those who don't know about Skankfest, I was one of you. It's basically, it's like a convention. So it's stand-up comedy, it's podcasting, like it's basically a full-on party from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. basically. So it's just like events and events and events on top of each other. So I don't know much about this world, honestly, but Jason Ellis, if you don't know Jason Ellis, he was like one of the top skateboarders in the world. Then he built this huge SiriusXM show, and they do their own thing now. It's like a comedy talk program. I have a little bit of a relationship with the show, somewhat. You know, I've done music for the show. They had me perform at one of their events, Ellismania. And Ellis was cool enough that he gave me passes to Skankfest. Anyway, so we talked like a week before the event. He was like, if you can make it down there, I got passes for you. I was like, all right, so I'm going to make it down there. I book a flight. I wind up, I think the event started on like Thursday. But I show up like Friday night. I go to a stand-up comedy thing. The stand-up comedians, the big ones down there, like Big J. Ogerson, Dan Soder, Louis J. Gomez, you know, like East Coast, like kind of heavy hitters. So Dan Soder's doing a stand-up event. So I go into it, and there's a desk right when you walk in, not unlike this. There's a guy at that table. He's drunk. He's about passed out. His head is down like this, and he's puking. Okay? So there's a small pile of puking, and so I was like, all right, so it's a fucking party. So I go in and I watch the show. I was probably in there about 30 minutes, and I come back out. I forgot all about this guy. Sure enough, I start walking, and I feel something sticky on my feet. So I look up, and this guy was still there, head at about the same height, except the pile had grown. Okay? So he is now about this far off the pile of puke, and it is just surmounting. It's all over him. It's all over the floor. Dan Soder said Skankfest is like if you failed to graduate from the 8th grade and threw a party. And that's kind of what it was. I mean, it was like degenerates, but it was cool. You know, they call their fans skanks. That's what they take value in. You'll be like, hey, skank, you know, and it's like, what up, ninja, you know? Like I say, though, Ellis was nice enough to give me these passes, so I thought I'd go down and show support for Ellismania. They do, like, comedy boxing, so they'll pull people, like, fans, and, like, they did the blindfolded shot collar fight. So blindfold everyone, put shot collars on them, give the controls to people in the crowd. Everybody swings on everybody. Also, Ellis, who is like a pro fighter, he's in there. There was a former UFC fighter there. I can't remember his name, but I don't know anything about that world. And they're just all wailing on each other, right? So that's the kind of stuff you see. Or they had like the pinata fight where Louis J. Gomez dressed up as a pinata and everybody tried to knock the candy out of him. So it was good stuff. And so I go up to Ellismania the first night or the first day, and I'm in this like side stage area. And anyone doesn't know, I'm not a smoker. I don't really smoke, you know. And so this skank, he was like, this is some of the best herb I've ever had. And he was like, you want to smoke with me? And I was like, well, you know, I'll take a hit. You know what I mean? I'll take a little hit. I'll watch the fight, get a little buzz on, whatever. Within 15 minutes of taking that hit, I was no longer on the property. Okay. So like my whole world just fucking melted, and I'm standing there and I have to make the decision. Do I need to leave or not? And I was like, fuck it, I'm out of here. So I'm trying to part the fucking seas of like 500 people and get through there. And then eventually I sit down on the curb, and I was having visions of the guy puking from the night before. And I was like, I know people here. Like, I'm not going to be that dude. So I hopped an Uber, I jetted. But before I had left, Jason Ellis had taken a video of me talking about how I had an extra pass and that I was going to give it away. So he had posted it on social media while I was gone. And so my shit starts blowing up at people wanting the passes. And then I heard he had even mentioned something about it. I don't know if it was where I was at or just that I had a ticket, but I was nowhere to be found. I was fucking gone. So I go back later on that night and I catch a couple events. Anywho, I wind up catching the Naked Roast. Okay. So the Naked Roast is exactly what it sounds like. It's Jason Ellis and then a bunch of other. Jason Ellis was a judge. So you had 3 judges, a host, and then several comedians, which would go up and do a one-on-one roast thing, all butt-ass naked. All right. So just dicks and pusses hanging out, right? Like one guy put a rat trap, like a mouse trap, but bigger on his dick and you know, it was shit like that. And it was crazy because these were the fattest people with like no dick. Like I never saw so much no dick ever. I'm talking like no shaft. I'm talking like there was just a button. Like you had to like, I don't know how they even get it out. You know what I mean? You have to kick them in the belly for the. It was embarrassing. I was embarrassed for these guys, right? This was a great event. However, funny story. And Ellis, if I'm wrong about this, I do apologize. But one of the comedians cock blocked the hell out of me. And I think it was my friend Jason Ellis. So I'm waiting in line and I'm talking to this little hottie, or she seemed like a hottie at the time, and her friend. And so Jason walks by. And she runs, and, oh, Jason Ellis. And she gets her photo, and she's like, I guess he said tag me in it or whatever, you know. I wasn't around at that point. She comes back over, and she's like, look, I got the photo. I'm going to post it on Instagram. And she ran her little dumb filters, and then she's like, I'm going to tag him in it. We're chit-chatting it up, and then like 5 minutes later, she quits talking to me, and she goes into like under her breath talking to her friend. And she's like, oh, my God, he hit me up. He's asking me if I think his wife is hot. What do I tell him? I don't. So it could have been any of the comedians. It could have been Big J. Okerson. I don't know. I'm just assuming who it was, right? And then at that point, I no longer existed. Okay, so I tried even just getting it on. Oh, no, this is what you tell him, da-da-da. Even like helping it move along in her favor. But I just didn't exist. So I was like, all right, well, fuck all that. Right. Anywho, I mean, Skankfest was just a really good time, though. It's a whole subculture. It's like Juggalos, but like dirtier. I really enjoyed it. There was a funny thing. I was in the side stage area, right? And Bob Saget comes walking by me. I don't know why he's not in the pamphlet. I don't know what he was there doing. And he looks at me and he goes, hey, don't tell anyone I'm here. And I'm alone. And I said, I don't have anyone to tell. And he's like, a lonely guy. I like that shit. And then he walked away. But he looks like he just stepped off the scene of Full House. He looks like he never even, like, aged. Like, I don't know how old he is, but... Yeah, so, I mean, I just want to say thank you to Jason Ellis and the whole crew. You know, Tully, Kevin Kraft, Jason's wife, Katie. Everybody, they're always really good to me. And all the skanks, y'all were the top-tier skanks in my book. But, yes, Skankfest, for anyone who would like to go next year, it is a time. We will just say that. What do you got for us today, buddy?
All right. I don't know if I can top that.
I know. Fucking hell, half the show. Jesus.
All right. So, a crazed woman in a blonde wig was captured on video in the lion enclosure at the Bronx Zoo, telling the king of the jungle that she loves him as she tossed $100 bills toward the lion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I missed him so much, the woman said, believed to be Maya Autry, the batty Brooklyn animal lover. Oh, apparently this isn't her first time. Caught on camera sneaking into the lion's den in 2019. King, I love you, she gushes. In the footage, the woman is seen dancing in a red dress and a leopard print shawl and holding a bouquet of roses. At one point, she makes it rain with cash, then bends over and smacks her rear end in the direction of the apex predator.
Wow.
Yeah. What I'm getting is I think this woman was trying to get dicked down by a lion.
So she was just tossing money at the king of the jungle.
Yeah.
She was just
making it fucking rain.
Yeah, he would have been like salami or something, like, you know what I mean?
The cops said that they're eyeing Autry in the latest cat caper. But she infamously...
Still haven't cut it off.
Nope. She infamously hopped over a barrier and taunted a lion in the same spot 2 years ago. The zoo is not...
Oh, Jesus. We're gonna put a photo of this woman up right here.
The zoo is not feline fine about the lion lover breaching the barrier and is working with cops on the hunt for zoo spokesman told the Post.
So this is a chargeable offense. This is like a...
Yeah, I think so.
Look at her. She's just like spreading her booty hole in class. And look, the king of the jungle is looking right up her hiney hole. He actually looks kind of interested, doesn't he? Maybe she's got something going on. I bet you screw it, I'm going to say it. I bet you, though, that would be the best fucking of her life. You know what I mean? Like, that fucking cat would get on top of her and just wreck shop in whatever hold or fold he finds. You know? And just fucking...
Well, also, apparently, she believes that in a past life she was a lioness, that she's reincarnated or something, too. So
I don't know. Looking at this picture, I kind of believe her.
Well, sums that story up. What do you got?
All right, I'm going to stay on the theme of Houston, and we're going to throw in a real quick
hot topic.
All right, Astro World. So, the only reason I'm really talking about this is because I was down there at that time. My hotel was in a shithole of an area, let's just say, and it was about a mile from Astro World, from the whatever the event center was, right? So when I get down there on Friday, all hell is breaking loose at the moment. All I knew it was in the form of backed up traffic. I get to the hotel, everyone's talking about it, you know. Homeless people were talking about it, which how the fuck did they know? But so I just happened to turn on the TV and I flip through and I see what's going on. And I've taken a little bit of interest in it because it's kind of curious, you know. So 8 people were crushed to death. There's a B in here or something. Another couple dozen injured, right? So they were pretty much trampled, okay? So I started looking into this because, I mean, we're not talking about Tech 9 fans. We're not talking about death metal fans. We're not talking about mosh pits. We're talking about latte sipping white girls. You know, we're talking about Travis Scott and Drake fans. So it made me think, how did this happen? So apparently this guy, he likes to go on stage and he tells his fans to rage. So this was 45,000 people that he told to rage. So at first thought, I'm like, well, what did you expect to happen, right? Mm-hmm. But then again, what's he supposed to do? Go up and tell him to have a fucking tea party? Let's fucking rage. You know, like...
But not too much.
No. You don't want to... Everybody needs their space. But so I kind of thought maybe they should... You know your crowds. He knows his crowd, right? So he knows what he can make them do, what they're going to do, what they're not. Are they going to part the sea and run at each other? What are they going to do? So maybe they shouldn't have had 50,000 people a night. Maybe they should have had 15,000 people a day over 3 days. Now, he would have made less money, of course, but I don't feel bad for a multimillionaire making less millions. Right? Especially when safety is involved. Now, and let's not forget, like, he's a product of the mainstream. You know, he is not an accurate representation of black culture or what a typical black man sound, looks, walks, talks like, right? He is a product of essentially what a probably 65, 70-year-old white executive thinks black culture is. You know what I mean? That's the mainstream. He is Black Britney Spears. Let's just cut the bullshit, you know? So with that being said, he was created his whole image to appear wild, but not too wild, because we need them white girls. That's right. You know what I mean? So if you can't control these white girls, you need to get a fucking different job. You know what I mean? I mean, if you can't handle these pumpkin spice sipping ladies, because that's what this is. It was all ladies and pussy whipped dudes. You know, what real dude, what tough dude, what dude that you would be threatened by would go to a fucking Drake concert? I find the whole thing despicable. You know, if you can't control your crowd, don't have one. And I'm not saying this is his fault at all. People want to throw this and that. I'm just saying, I guess I'm saying it both ways. How can you not control your crowd when it's a bunch of ladies?
Right. So I've been seeing shit about this too. Mm-hmm. And he didn't even stop his set. He finished his set.
Yeah, but how's he to know?
Happened. Well, it was announced over. Like all the security, like they got the call. Like this is a situation. Like shit's
right.
happening.
But the guy up there actively performing, how would he know?
Oh, well, I don't know. But the cops, when they're getting this, there's video of several security members getting the call. Like, hey, you need to handle shit. They're like, okay, and just standing there filming Travis Scott performing for like 15 minutes before they fucking do anything.
Well, that's probably the only way they get some pussy when they come home.
Yeah, apparently he finished his set. Found out 8 people got trampled to death and then went to Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, I did see him and Drake went and partied afterwards. Yeah, it's a crazy thing. But like I say, as someone who's been in front of, I've never performed in front of a crowd anywhere near that point, maybe 5,000 at tops. But you know what to expect when you're in front of your crowd. You can either control them or you can't. If you can't, get the fuck off the stage. That's kind of what I'm saying. And besides all that, I don't think he's a real person. Like I say, his whole image was created top to bottom by some executive to look and appeal a certain way. Because that's what they've been doing in the mainstream with hip hop for so long. They create this fake black image so they can sell it to white people. And if this man cannot control your white people, then get fucked.
Hot topic.
What's up next for us, buddy?
All right. A man punches a woman in the face and fractures her jaw after she refuses to give him her number. Police are hunting for a man who punched a woman in the face and fractured her jaw. The 21-year-old spent several days in the hospital following the attack during a night out in London's West End. Oh, this is overseas. The victim had left a nightclub with a female friend in the early hours of November 1st when they were approached by a man near Piccadilly Circus.
Piccadilly.
All right. Who was very flirty and attempted to get their phone numbers, police said. The pair pretended that they were girlfriends in an attempt to get the man to leave them alone, but he allegedly made a homophobic remark and then punched this girl right in the face.
That is out cold.
Yes, she was. The other woman was smacked on the bottom by a second unknown man.
Hold up, dude. Someone punches a woman, dude just runs up.
Yeah, just... All right.
Fucking wild. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Recording this as a sexual assault. It's because the guy came up and... Since he came up and smacked her on the ass, that is now assault and sexual assault.
Yeah, sort of.
Police have released images of the man they wish to speak to in connection with the incident. Suspect accused of throwing the punch is described as a tall, muscular black man who spoke with what may have been an American accent. Give his details of his outfit. We're not hunting him.
So he punched the bride, his buddy,
Yeah.
and then that's that. They ran off. They don't know who he was. That's just that.
Yeah, no, all because you can get a phone number.
Yeah, it's got to be the fault of COVID somehow. I just fucking know it.
Right.
There's a hidden truth here, and I'm gonna fucking find it.
Fucking COVID.
By the way, before we... I'm sorry, is that the end of your story?
Oh, yeah.
Before we wrap this up, I want to say thank you to the fucking skank who got me fucking sick down there. This was a spot to get sick, right? It was people walking around with like unvaccinated and proud shirts and shit like that. You know what I mean? Making fun of people with masks. I came back and I've been fucking sick since. So thank you to whoever you fucking were. Dick. All right. Well, I think that's a pretty action-packed show. Yeah. And I can see by the timer that we have less than 1 minute left. So I would... Whoa, that popped really loud in my fucking ears. Maybe because I am sick. But I'd like to tell everyone we have been seeing a boost in views and subscribers and everything. We want to thank y'all. It seems like some of y'all are actually enjoying this silly little program we're doing here. Your continued... Our continued success is based upon y'all. So if y'all want us to continue doing this, we will gladly do it. Please like, please subscribe. And please do not watch the news. We'll be back next Wednesday. Fuck your mother. Good night. Non-apologetic news. Non-apologetic news.